Good morning, everybody. So, here's the thing. It doesn't matter how good a sermon this is. Does it? Maybe it's good. I gotta remind myself of Mariah. Sometimes she gets a little goofy like that. So maybe it's great. Maybe it's not. I know you don't do that in front of people, though. So far, this sermon's turning out wonderful. But it really doesn't matter. You can get something great out of a terrible sermon. You can get nothing out of the perfect sermon. What really matters, your body, your choice isn't what you think. That's the name of the sermon. Because yes, we know that your body, your choice is a highly political term for abortion. This sermon has nothing to do with abortion. It has everything to do with the term, your body, your choice. It doesn't matter what you're told. At the end of the day, you make the decision. At the end of the day, you choose how you respond to things. You choose if you respond to things. You choose every bit of your life. Every bit of every decision is your choice. And there are things that are outside of our control that happen to us. I'm not saying that people wish to get into car accidents. That's not what I'm saying. But, like I said last week, the condition of your heart always overpowers the condition of your life. And so whenever you look at the trajectory of your life, your trajectory is built upon the way that you have chosen to act in accordance to what is going on around you. Is that making sense? Are you tracking with me? Whenever you look at your week, sometimes weeks get hectic because of outside, things happen. And I'm not saying things don't happen. Jesus said this, I don't have a verse for this, but Jesus said, do not worry about tomorrow because today's worries are enough for today. As in, if you know there are things that you need to get done today, and you choose not to do those things, and you wait till tomorrow, or you wait till the end of the week, or you just keep pushing it off, what you're doing is adding to tomorrow's trouble. And that's your choice. Because God knows what's going to happen tomorrow. He knows that the troubles that are going to be there. And if you're feeling like, man, I really got to do this today, and you don't, then you're adding to the trouble tomorrow. And this is our lives. Our lives are just a culmination of the choices we make. If you want to take notes, our first point today, your choices reveal what you are committed to. You can tell anybody anything. I could say, I'm a 9-foot-tall robot that is fueled on Captain Crunch. And I can believe it's true. We're seeing this in our society today. You can believe that all sorts of fantasies are true, but at the end of the day, you know I'm not a 9-foot-tall robot that exists on Captain Crunch. Because that's not my life. You can't fake your life by saying your life is different. At the end of the day, your life is your choice. This is what the dynamic of faith and works. That's what people get so bent out of shape about, like, well, don't tell me how to be because I have the right beliefs. But in your brain, if you hold on to a set of truths, regardless of what they may be, it might be Christian things, it might not be Christian things, and you never act out those beliefs, do you really believe them? Your faith, whatever your faith is, whether it's in money, or God, or your spouse, or your children, or in the stock market, or in politics, wherever you are putting your security, you will act in accordance to it. Regardless of what you say you put your faith in. You look at your life and you see your commitments. And so it doesn't matter what I tell you. Some of you have come here for years. And others of you have gone to church for years, maybe decades. And you look at your lives and it's no different. You look at your lives and you see the same person that you saw 10 years ago, except more wrinkles, and you just kind of like, you wish that you had, your old body back, or you wish that you had something back, or you wish you could go back. What it's showing is what you're committed to. If you are the exact same as you were 10 years ago, John Shelby, are you the same as you were 10 years ago? No, absolutely not. Because you're growing. Are you growing? Are you learning? Are you changing? Do you do different things now than you did whenever you were a little bitty baby? You draw better. You run faster. John Shelby gets it. As we get older, we should be growing and developing. And if you aren't, you can't blame me. If you aren't, you can't blame your spouse. You can't blame your boss. If you aren't developing, it's because you're not committed to developing. You're committed to staying the same. And you wonder, where is all my work going? Where is all my money going? And the popular thing today, blame inflation. Nobody has a financial lifestyle problem. It's all because of inflation. And I will say, things cost more, but also, we have lifestyle problems. We have too many luxuries. And we think we deserve every single one. And it's not true. We can get by on so little. You can't trick life. You can't trick life. You always get what you put in. And this is true, because Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. So if you think you can trick or you can hack life, you can't, because life is God. God is life. This is what Galatians says. Sorry, go to Galatians. It might be the fifth. Do not be deceived. God is not mocked. For whatever one sows, that he will also reap. For the one who sows of his own flesh will from the flesh reap corruption. But the one who sows to the Spirit will reap eternal life. You are constantly planting seeds. Every decision, every word, everything that you choose not to say, every facial expression that you make is a seed of something. And those things will grow. And we see this. If you are an adult, you were raised by people, and those people have impacted your life today. What you know, what you don't know, who you are, the way you behave, the way you act. these things are, you are the plant that has grown from all the seeds that were placed in you. And your life is the garden of all the things that you are planting. And there are two major themes in the Bible. If you understand these two themes, then you really start to unlock understanding the Bible for yourself. That is the theme of the garden. It all starts in a garden. God made all of the plants and all of the animals and all these things and told Adam to care for the garden. And that theme is continued over and over and over again. That we are supposed to take care and nurture and cultivate. We aren't just meant to consume everything. We are meant to cultivate. We're meant to grow. We're meant to harvest. We're supposed to understand sowing and reaping. But there's also a second concept, because what happens to Adam and Eve after they leave the garden? They get kicked out. And they're supposed to go someplace new. And this is the second concept of the Bible. It is always, life is a journey. Life is a journey. You see it in Abraham, who leaves his homeland to find a place where he will not find. He is supposed to be a foreigner and a sojourner, a traveler. We see it in Moses. He leads the people out of Egypt and into the desert. It's a journey. Joshua takes his place, and the journey's not over. He has to go from the desert into the promised land and build something there. So we get a journey, and then we get a garden. And then we get a journey, and then we get a garden. And the journey is always difficult. And if you are if you're in the age group of people who come to Yah, if you are a young adult, doesn't it feel like life is an adventure right now? Yah. Life is an adventure. And almost you're paralyzed by fear because it's like, what way am I supposed to go? And the rest of us, you're like, man, life isn't an adventure. Life is terrible. Life is like hard and challenging, and you don't ever feel like you get anywhere. Because you're stuck. Your goal is the wrong goal. If life is supposed to be a journey, this is what the 28 to retirement think. Happiness should be right where I'm at. I should be happy right here. What's going to make me happy where I'm at? You no longer see the adventure of life. You no longer see the journey. You say, I have been on this adventure for a while now, and I deserve to be getting something from it. But you're not going anywhere. And I'm not talking about travel. This is why we got obsessed with travel and adventure. That was so trendy. You can travel, you can go on vacations, that's fine. You're not going to find it there, though. Because this journey replaces happiness with growing something. When you replace your goal of happy with your goal of journeying after God, you can see the hardships as fruitful. You can see the suffering and rejoice. I know that I have not been the most huggable at work lately, right? Not the most talkative, not the most exuberant. I got headphones in, I'm doing my work, yeah. Because this week I was really tired, really worn out. This season for me, and Mariah as well, has been a lot of just struggle. I'm not talking about sin, just struggle. And I know a lot of you are there. And somebody before church even talked about, like, It seems like sometimes you're just looking at the mountain you gotta climb. And you don't necessarily want to start climbing it because you know it's going to take a lot of effort. And behind it is probably another mountain. God blessed me immensely. Because at a very young age, I knew exactly what my journey was journeying towards. I knew in 8th grade I was supposed to be a pastor. I knew at 16 I was supposed to plant a church. I knew in that mix that I was going to build a house. Didn't know what all these things meant. I knew I was supposed to stay in Mount Vernon, which, you know that's got to be God, right? Like whenever your girlfriend at the time is living in Missouri and you're just feeling like, I'm not supposed to be there, I'm supposed to be here, that has to be something divinely inspired. Because most people you talk to, well, I got to get out of here, I got to get out of here. I was blessed to know my trajectory. And I know most people don't get that. But even still, I got distracted. I got mixed up into some, sometimes you know the end goal that is years and years away. But Satan's there dangling a carrot right in front of your nose. And it just seems like, wow, I could just reach out and grab that and I'll have something. And so we get distracted by the carrot and we chase after that. And for a while I chased the carrot and it ended up with me being depressed and having panic attacks and developing all sorts of unhealthy, dysfunctional behaviors. It got so bad that I didn't feel like life really had much meaning. And that it would just be easier if I did things. And you know what God did? You know what God told me in order to snap me out of that? How he reached down with some kind words and pulled me up out of the pit. You know what he said? This is all your fault. This is all your fault. I have been so busy blaming circumstances and blaming people and making excuses and just telling people like why my life is the way it is and why it's so awful and how much pain I have and nobody would understand. And God said, that's your fault. This mess is your mess. And you made it. And if you want to start following me again, I will show you how to clean it up. I will show you how much better life can be if you are willing to start digging away the pile that you collected. Because this is all you. When you start following me, then it starts getting good. Because you will be a hostage to anything you pursue besides God. You will be a hostage to your spouse, you will be a hostage to your kids, you'll be a hostage to your job, you'll be a hostage to your lifestyle, or even your hobbies. God sets you free. God sets you free. He makes all those things so much better. Or he tells you to get rid of some of those things. Your kids, no. He redeems the broken. And he burns away the unnecessary. He got rid of my anxiety because he gave me a mission. I no longer had to fear what was going to take place because I knew where I was going. He took away my depression because he gave my relationships meaning. I was depressed because I had no social hierarchy. I didn't know who I could depend on or who was depending on me, so I was depressed. He gave my life and my relationships meaning. He got rid of my procrastination by making me urgent. He got rid of guilt and regret whenever I took hold of faith and obedience. Our second point. Are you willing to choose? Are you willing to choose slow and meaningful over quick and easy? Are you willing? Are you willing? Are you willing? Yes. Thank you, Anthony. Because this is the thing. We have to be willing. There are times, listen, in my headphones I got Audible. Because I don't have time to sit down and read a book. But I can listen to Audible, and I listen at 2 times speed. Those people are talking like, chapter 4, chapter 5, chapter 6. Because I need to accelerate the process. I don't have time to just sit around and read books. I'm a slow reader. Slowly. But I can listen really good. So I'm not saying sometimes quick is okay. But are you willing to go slow and meaningful? Like church, right now. Penelope doesn't finish. She doesn't. And that's why I love having kids in church. And this is, there's a time and a need to have kids not in church. Absolutely. But I love having kids in church because it is a slow and meaningful training process. I don't mind some distractions. Because distractions can be good if they're meaningful. You can accelerate things in your life that will benefit your journey. But there are some times that we have to slow down because it's not about getting through something. It's about getting something through it and developing patience or abilities. And God will help you overcome things in your life so that you can help other people overcome. And if everything was just quick and easy, we would never really learn our lessons. If God just removed us from things, we would say, I don't even know how this happened. God just popped me over here. But the Bible tells us that we're meant to do things. We're meant to have faith and obedience so that way we can show other people how to have faith and obedience, how to trust God and follow Him. Your relationships will never make you happy. This is a fundamental misunderstanding of what the purpose of love is. We confuse feelings so often. Sometimes we confuse a little bit of excitement and fear with love. That's why you sometimes think, why are you with this terrible person? Well, it made me feel something. Or Mariah and I were watching Survivor last night, and it was just like we watched this boy just kind of word vomit everything he was feeling all at one time. And it's Survivor. Survivor is a game of playing your cards close to your chest and slowly making alliances and different things like that. And so when you word vomit, that's really bad. You're a liability. In life, we see this manifest itself through people who are just, as soon as they get a relationship, they're 100%. I know I met you last week, but I love you. Let's run away together. It's a Taylor Swift song. One of the happy ones. She kind of swings rapidly. Life is meant to be slow and meaningful. And we build real relationships whenever we start understanding that our goal isn't just, will you make me happy? Or do I make you happy? Whenever we start crafting these relationships around doing life together and making them meaningful, that's why unity in the Bible is emphasized over and over and over and over again. Because we have to have unity for the journey. Has anybody ever had a car that's out of alignment? Mm-hmm. A lot of us have, yeah. My Jeep has a lift kit on it, and the steering to go straight is about like this, you know what I mean? And you can wear out your tires real quick. You can wear out your arm real quick. It's a little bit more dangerous. This is what it's like when life doesn't have unity in your relationships. You're constantly having to course correct, and you're getting worn out, and things might break, or you might get into an accident because there's no unity. Your happiness doesn't line up with my happiness, so there's no peace, so there's no joy. But if we recognize we are on a journey of hardship and overcoming and victory and defeat, and we're going to make it to heaven together if we pursue Jesus, we can have meaning where, like Donnie stopped by, was that this week? That was this week. This week has been crazy. Yeah. So Donnie stopped by here Monday? Tuesday? Anyway, Monday or Tuesday, Donnie stopped by. And after Donnie left, Mariah was like, you were so rude to him. You were so rude. He asked, because I said I was taking a nap, I just got off work, and I was really tired, and you'd said, well, I hope I didn't wake you. And I answered back, well, because I don't like to lie. And a sensitive person who is pursuing happiness would say, Josh is a jerk. But Donnie texted me the next day and said, hey, I could tell by the look on your face that you're having a rough time, that you must be pretty wore out, and we love you. Terry and I are praying for you. And it just showed the difference between a relationship that is built on, do you give me what I want, versus a relationship of we're in this together, and we can get through it together, and we can support one another, and we can forgive one another, and we can have something greater. And this is the life of the Christian. Right here. In Matthew, Jesus is speaking to his disciples, and he says, then Jesus told his disciples, the people who already left their jobs, the people who already left their families behind, the people who have been following Jesus around now for probably a year or two, if anyone would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. We're going to pause after 25. For whoever would save his life would lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. We're going to pause right there. Now we understand this, deny himself and take up his cross. We all understand that. We are going to choose to suffer. We're going to be okay when life gets hard. We're going to give our lives to something. So we're not just going to chase what's easy. We're not going to chase what's comfortable. We're not going to chase what seems like it's going to make us happy in the moment. The part that we often forget is follow me. We understand it's okay to be uncomfortable, but not all uncomfort or discomfort or pain, not all pain is worth it. You shouldn't go home and snap your arm on the table because Jesus told you to suffer. That's just stupid. You are willing to suffer as you follow. When we follow Jesus, we see the mountain. We see the uphill climb. We see the valley. relationship and we say, you know what? I'm going to follow Christ. This might be difficult, but it has meaning. It has purpose. There's a reason why I should just go ahead and forgive. There's a reason why I should go ahead and just not quit my job because it's difficult. There's a reason why we continue to push ourselves. And there's a lot of times where I myself think about life. Obviously. And I think, oh man, if I could just work and make money and live that life. And get off work in the evenings and come home. That would be so much easier. And then I think about it a little bit more. And I'm like, but what would I be building? What would be my life effort? Life would be so empty if it wasn't for getting to help other people. Life would be so empty if I wasn't pursuing a higher meaning. My life would have no meaning if it was all about money. And that's why Jesus said you cannot serve both money and God, for you will love one and hate the other. I just don't care about money. And I can say that, but at the end of the day, if I was so concerned about money, I would just go make as much money as I could. I would really probably enjoy being a brain doctor. And they make money. But I would rather be a construction worker to be able to pay for the bills and pay for my life, doing something that has meaning to my family, and spend every waking moment trying to build other people up and free them from the bondage of sin. That is why I'm a pastor. That's why God told me to plant a church. That's why God told me to stay in Mount Vernon, because I do not feel the feeling that you would say is love towards each one of you. I'm not I don't want to be Philip's boyfriend. Right? Philip's right there in the hat. Sorry, Philip. You're a great guy. It's just not going to work. But I can honestly say that I love each and every single one of you, because love in God's way means you care for the greater good. You care for the greater good of a person. And you are willing to put yourself aside to push them ahead for their greater good. Not to make, everybody happy and comfortable and love me back. I don't care if you feel the feeling of love towards me. I will step on your toes. Sometimes intentionally. Because I know you need to wake up. I know Johnny got a self-driving truck, right? For work. For work. It's not a choice. But what does it do whenever you look away from the road too long? It drives you nuts. That is me. I love you. I care about your soul. And I will drive you nuts. And it's your choice if you leave, or it's your choice if you get better. But I care. I care too much to be silent. Because this is what he continues to say. For what will it profit a man if he gains the whole world and forfeits his soul? So what if you make 6 figures? If it costs you your eternity, whoop-de-doo. Or what shall a man give in return for his soul? For the Son of Man is going to come with his angels in the glory of the Father, and he will, what? Repay each one according to what he has done. You want to overcome sin. You want to overcome mental illness. You want to overcome all the things that hold you down in your life. Start following. Start pursuing. Just pray to God that He gives you the mission for your time here. And if you don't know where to start small. I know that Katie and Baker, they're in nursery today. Serving. I know that Katie and Baker would not be where they're at if Katie would not have gotten into the car with Mariah on a Sunday morning whenever Katie was on Mariah's junior high basketball team. They wouldn't be where they're at. And they wouldn't be where they're at if they would have said, we'll start folding handouts and preparing communion. I know Ross, where are you at, Ross? There you go. Ross has grown so much as a communicator. Before, he would have pages of notes and get up here and be nervous, and you wouldn't really look at the crowd very much. But he said yes. And now he's getting up here and he's like holding the mic and he's walking around. No notes. Because he's living it. Because he's preparing. Because he's working out his salvation. And he's growing. Because of a little yes. And that's what the church is. A church is an opportunity for you to have a little yes. To have a home base. Because your real mission is out there. Your real mission is all the people who are forfeiting their souls. That's what this life is about. I'm going to pick up right here next week. Okay? I know I've never done this before in 3 years. But we're going to pick up right here next week because I've got a whole lot. You could look at your handout. There's like 5 more blanks. We're going to pick up right here. It's 11:25. But I know that this is going to take at least 20 minutes. So today I want to ask you this last question. Go ahead and go to my last verse. This book has an excellent name. This is after they've gone into the promised land. Joshua has broken down the walls of Jericho. They went through the Jordan River like a little mini parting of the sea. It's crazy. They're defeating people left and right as they have faith in God. And he says, but if serving the Lord seems undesirable to you, then choose. Choose. Choose for yourselves this day whom you will serve, whether the gods of your ancestors served beyond the Euphrates, or the gods of the Amorites, because you all know about those guys, right? The gods of your parents. The gods of this world. Happiness and money and self-centeredness and comfort and fear. Those are the gods of this world. That's whose land you are living in right now. That's Mount Vernon. That's America. That's this earth. But as for me and my household, we will serve the Lord. You choose. You choose today. And if you want to say to me after the service, I need a little yes. I need a little help. I'm here for you. If you say, I need to start my journey today, I'm here for you. And if you feel too bashful or maybe I'm busy and you don't want to interrupt, so you're feeling self-conscious, there's a page in the handout where you can rip off next step. Leave your name, your phone number if I don't have it. I'll give you a call this week. You can check something that you want to do, or you can just write something on it. But I'm here for you. Let's go ahead and stand. And the main part is that it's not just me. Our church stands behind you, and most of all, if you are serving God, the best part is He's standing beside you too. He's holding you up, He's lifting you up, He's pushing you forward, and He's making the way. It is all glory to God. Let's pray. Father God, I just thank you that you go before us, that you are cleaning up after us, that you are lifting us up, that you are holding us up, that you are making clear our path. You are a lamp to our feet and a light to our path, God. I pray that we will see the light today, that we will make the journey, that we will commit to you.